Poor feedback can lead to undesirable or even negative feelings from students. Pause for a moment and look at sample student reactions to poor feedback. What themes emerge here? You probably noticed the general undertone of frustration from students, as well as feeling unable to actually incorporate and learn from the feedback received. When it comes to trends across poor, unhelpful feedback, they usually fall into three buckets. The first is feedback that generally focuses on mechanical aspects of the task, for example, spelling and grammar. The second is confusing or difficult to understand comments, for example, use more academic style, analyze, don't describe. And the last is unworkable comments, for example, overly positive and encouraging comments at the expense of clear advice on how to improve subsequent work. Now we'll provide feedback on feedback, something you'll be asked to do in this week's activity. The following example is taken from a student research proposal. The proposal is a pilot project that assesses the preparedness of students for the workforce. When reflecting on if the feedback comments are constructive or not, think back to the characteristics of effective feedback highlighted earlier: tone, targeted, and clear. At this time, please pause the video for a couple of minutes and think about if the feedback is helpful, and if it is not, how can it be improved? Now that you've had a few minutes to think about it, let's look through the comments together. The first comment does a nice job setting a positive tone, as well as specific steps the student can take to make those two sentences more connected and stronger. Looks good. The second comment, however, is not so helpful. The tone, for one, is not positive, and it's extremely unclear what part of the sentence is confusing to the reader. Remember, feedback should be targeted. This would better be reframed as, "I'm not sure what this sentence is trying to convey." If you're trying to connect the logic between success and skills, try rephrasing the sentence, but also including why this connection is logical and makes sense. The next comment highlights a much better tone, as well as clearly pointing out the portion of the sentence the student needs to elaborate on. The next piece of feedback, more detail, doesn't set the best tone, but also, very importantly, it's unclear. What detail? Details of the survey? Participants? It's essential to explicitly point students in the right direction with targeted, actionable steps. While it's clear that the feedback citation is asking for the student to cite the survey, asking that with a more open tone, such as, "Remember to cite any study you reference," fosters a safe learning environment where students can receive critical feedback. The last piece of feedback reads well and is direct enough for students to clearly identify the next step they need to take. Comments summarizing multiple points of feedback can be very helpful for students and prevent them from feeling overwhelmed. The one in this example provides the student not only a clear roadmap of the edits they need to make, but also what to expect in the future, another round of feedback before they can begin their study. Notice how these comments all incorporate the key characteristics of effective feedback that we reviewed earlier: a balanced and sensitive tone, targeted suggestions, and clear communication.